Lesson 2.1. Manipulate properly the tools and materials for embroidery. There are various forms of handicrafts, and one of this is needlecraft. Needlecraft uses needle for construction of product or articles. Others find it as a form of hobby, but it can be a lifetime profitable business. You can choose from the basic embroidery stitches. 1. Running stitch. One of the most basic stitches, and is usually the first stitch learned by the beginner embroidery or sewing enthusiast. This stitch can be worked in straight or curved lines, or for assembly when finishing an embroidery project. Variations of the embroidery version of this stitch include the whipped running stitch, laced running stitch, as well as a few dozen others. Running stitch is also the basic stitch used for darning stitches, with the straight stitches arranged in patterned row. 2. Back stitch. This stitch is most often used to outline a design. This stitch also forms the baseline for other embroidery stitches. 3. Couching. This stitch is considered useful especially for outlining or giving more weight to a single stitch line. Usually 2 working yarns are used, the laid yarn and couching yarn. The yarn which is stitched over another yarn, the laid yarn, to attach it to the fabric is called couching yarn. 4. Cross stitch. This stitch is formed by 2 crossing arms and may be used for outlining, as borders or to fill an entire area. 5. Tent stitch. One of the often used in basic needlepoint stitches is called the continental stitch. This is usually done on single thread canvas. 6. French knot. A single detached stitch used primarily to fill in a design area. It is a popular stitch among embroiderers because it can be used to create the eyes on an embroidered face or the center of the flower. 7. Holbein stitch. It is also called double running stitch, often used to outline black work embroidery. This stitch was first known as the Italian stitch. It became known as the Holbein stitch after Hans Holbein the Younger, a 16th century portrait painter best known for his paintings of Henry VIII and his children, almost all of whom are depicted wearing clothing decorated with black work embroidery. 8. Herringbone stitch. It is basic overlapping stitch popular in border making. 9. Fishbone stitch. This is a kind of filling stitch which is ideal for making leaves or feather. In a broader sense, it is regarded as a member of the satin stitch family. 10. Blanket and buttonhole stitches. The blanket stitch is a basic, popular embroidery stitch that can be used to create an edging, used as a surface embroidery stitch, or to stitch elements in place on an embroidery project, while buttonhole stitches are mostly used for cutwork embroidery. 11. Romanian stitch. A couching stitch which has only one working yarn. This means that the yarn used as the laid yarn is also the yarn used for couching. 12. Chevron stitch. It is a wider form of backstitch ideal for decorative borders and bands. 13. Satin stitches. A solid filling stitch that is used to cover a design area with long, straight stitches worked very close together. 14. Split stitch. A loose stitch catching only a thread or two of fabric. It is designed to be invisible from the right side. It is a stitch for securing hems. 15. Stem stitch. Basically an outline stitch. This stitch is often used for the stems in floral designs. 16. Lazy daisy chain stitch. It is also called as detached chain stitch. This stitch is worked in a circle to resemble the petals of a flower. 17. Hem stitch. Italian hem stitching is a kind of counted thread embroidery. It is a stitch used to draw out parallel threads and stitch the exposed threads in groups to form various designs. Hem stitching is done along both sides of the drawn threads, is also called ladder hem stitch or double hem stitching. 18. Fly stitch. A single stitch with a loop that is similar to that of the feather stitch. This stitch can be used for borders or to fill in a design area. This stitch can be worked singly or in vertical or horizontal rows. 19. Pekingese stitch. It is also known as the Chinese stitch. This stitch has back stitches as a base. Several Pekingese stitches can be used to outline or fill in a design area. 20. Feather stitch. A stitch with a loop and stitches evenly worked on both left and right sides of a design area. 21. Bullion stitch, bullion knot. This stitch is a single, detached stitch that is used for filling in a design area. Rows of bullion stitches may also be used to outline a design. It is recommended that one uses a needle with a small eye for ease in pulling. 22. Rosette chain stitch. A chain stitch that is popularly used for making decorative borders. Its name derives from the resemblance of a rosebud. It is worked from right to left between double lines of a design area. In a row, rosette chain stitches are worked close together. 23. Twisted chain stitch. A chain stitch is used to create an unusual outline. 24. Coral stitch. A simple outline stitch marked by knots along a stitch line. This is used particularly for making stems and twigs. Several rows of coral stitches can likewise be used to fill in a design area, producing a remarkably different texture. Please leave a like if this video was helpful to you. Thank you for watching.